Greetings, 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 my beautiful ones, wise ones, and melanated ones. Yep, it's Wisdom Reborn. Y'all, got something on my mind I want to share. Y'all know I do that from time to time. So let's talk about it. Integration. So, several of the civil rights leaders in the end of that era said they felt like they were dragging their people into a burning house and such. I'm almost inclined to agree, but let me tell you why. I am inclined to agree, but overly inclined to agree. Let me tell you why. I was watching a little documentary yesterday, and during the documentary, they kept saying desegregation. Desegregation? Desegregation is the breaking down of separation. So, as the tribal people that we are, they broke us down from separation. So, they put us together. But putting us together, I think there's a much better choice of words. And it is integration. So, integration can be the forceful extraction from one situation to be placed into another. And when I started thinking about that, I looked into the word extraction. The word extraction has two definitions, according to Webster. The first definition is to forcefully remove. The next definition is lineage. So they forcefully extracted us from tribal life to forcefully place us in the mix with others. Now, I'm going to tell you why I have such a problem with this. We have been so a lot. Let me back that up just a second. People that don't know me don't know that I spent years in ministry, years, and so in my years, I noticed about in the mid '90s there was a shift from preaching or teaching Old Testament to focusing only on New Testament. Now, that's a problem because the laws are listed in the Old Testament. Now, we'd like to say that Christ came so that he could abolish the law. No, that's not. So the law would be no more. That's not what he said. He didn't say he came to, he didn't come to abolish the law, but he came to fulfill it, which means he's not wiping it away. He's showing you that you can live life and obey the laws as well as continue to do, what thus saith the creators. Now, with that being said, in the books of law, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, it's quite a few of them. It's laws all the way through. Excuse me, but one of the things that we were precisely told not to do is to mix up. We were supposed to remain separate. Remaining separate during the days of segregation is where we were supposed to be. Has anybody, so let me back up another second. So I am a child who grew up in the 70s. And growing up in the 70s, I learned that you got to go in the back door. We had to go in the back door into some of the establishments that we entered. And the reason we had to go into the back door, even though desegregation had taken place, it was habitual. The habit of going in the back door was still there. My grandparents at Summing Drugstore still entered in the back door, side door, by the counter. We didn't even go in the front door. I never recall walking in the front door of that store. That is how it was supposed to be. Maybe not to the point to where we have to go into the back door, and maybe not separate but equal, but still there's supposed to be some level of separation. The level of integration that we have entered into has forcefully extracted us from our tribal lifestyle and allowed us to serve other gods, have idol gods, not love our brothers and sisters. It also has increased tremendously mental illness, these acts of violence against the innocent. Because when we lived amongst ourselves, we were tribal people. The tribes generally had the elders that were able to speak to the younger people. It had those men that would take care of and protect the tribe at all costs, which I'm not even going to go there. We had the persons who were proficient in medicine. They called them root doctors. They switched that up and started saying the root doctors was this and that and this and that. But my grandfather dabbled in roots. And my grandmother, not my nanny, not to cause harm to people, but with a level of understanding that everything that we need for our recovery, health, to fight off disease and all of that stuff, it was all in plants. I got more hair than I've had in 20 years. It was all in plants. And we went to the plants. I used to get these stomach aches. My grandpa used to go cut some bark off of a tree and boil it in some water with some honey and squeeze some lemon on it, and my stomach wouldn't hurt anymore. It was sarsaparilla or sassafras. It was sassafras. He made me sassafras tea, which is good for digestive issues. Now, we don't know what sassafras tea is. Every year, my grandma made poke salad because you're getting a good poke salad cleaning. We took cod liver oil. We used natural things to heal us, to make sure that our bodies were functioning properly. Now, since we are no longer segregated, we have been given pharmaceutical medications, which never heal. They always mask symptoms and cause other symptoms. I'm just making an observation that in 2025, integration is still forcefully pulling us away from and mixing us into something that is not our natural habitat. And when you are not in your natural habitat, you act like crabs in a bucket or a barrel. One crab is trying to get out on top of the other crab, and in the meantime, they're constantly pulling other crabs down. But let me tell you something, and I can guarantee you this is true. A crab's natural habitat is the ocean. There are no limitations on where a crab can move around in the ocean. So it has no reason to try to pull another crab down. We are out of our natural environment. Therefore, we are causing issues within the tribe. It's time to get back to tribal life, y'all. It's Wisdom Reborn. That was just a few words for my beautiful, wise, and melanated ones, and those that are seeking knowledge and wisdom so that we can come together with some understanding. Have a wonderful day.